everyone, and you're welcome again to our first confirmation video as you prepare for confirmation, which will be taking place sometime next year. And what I want to say to you, first of all, is you're very welcome. And since you want to be confirmed, you're in the right place, because we're here in St. Andrew's Church, where the confirmation most likely will take place next year. So thank you for telling us that you would like to be confirmed. And one of the things I want to do before we open the door today is to understand who is being confirmed. It's not your mum or your dad. It's not your aunt or uncle. It's not your grandparents. But it is you who is being confirmed. And it is your decision. And we're so glad that you're now making this decision to be confirmed. So let's get our first confirmation video underway, and welcome again to this confirmation class. You came here to be baptized. In fact, some of you were extremely young when you came to be baptized. You came here with your parents and special friends called godparents. And when they came here to church with you, they came here to make promises on your behalf, to tell people, as you were baptized, that you were going to be brought up as a Christian, that you are going to learn your Christian prayers, that you were going to be present in church with your parents. So it was a big statement that was being made when you came to be baptized. It was your parents saying that they wanted to pass on the very best things to you in your life. And we celebrate that fact today. You might ask a question now, and a question might be something like this. If I'm making the decision now, why did I need to be baptized in the first place? Why couldn't I have left it until I was 12 or older to be confirmed and to do everything to be baptized and confirmed and to answer promises for myself at that time? Well, there's a sort of a simple answer to that. The first thing is your parents had care of you when you were very small. They made sure that all the good things were done for you when you were very small, when you couldn't do things for yourself. They fed you. You weren't able to feed yourself. They made sure that you were put to bed and able to sleep at night and kept comfortable. You wouldn't be able to do that as a very small baby. They also made decisions about looking after you when you were sick. They brought you to the doctor. At no time did they say, do you think you'd like to go to the doctor? Or would you rather stay at home? No, they made decisions that were important for you at that point in your life. And so baptism was when they made that important decision for you and brought you here to be baptized. Now, I want you to think a little bit about something called symbols. Symbols. Now, it's not maybe a word you think about very often, but you are surrounded by symbols all the time. And I'm going to give you a few examples now and see if you, when you see these symbols, can explain what they mean. So here's your first symbol. Okay, what did you make of that? I bet you got the right answer. It's the symbol for the euro. For your money, for the things we use to buy things with. Here's another symbol. See if you know what this symbol means. That's right. That symbol, I think, may have made you feel a little bit hungry today, because it's the symbol for McDonald's. And as a result of that, every time you see that symbol, you immediately think of that. Here's another symbol you might recognize. Now, we all recognize the cross, don't we? But what does this cross symbolize? It's a symbol of what? Yes, I can hear the voices, even on a recording, I'm sure I can hear those voices ringing back to me saying that it actually stands for the cross on which Jesus died. It also stands for the church, because if you go into any church anywhere, you will find a symbol like that, a symbol of the cross. Now, at baptism, there is a special symbol that is used. It's not a line drawing. It's not even made out of wood, but it is still a symbol. And the symbol we use at baptism is a symbol of water. Water. You might say to yourself, water is water. How can water be a symbol? How can it point to something that's different from what I see in front of me? So let me explain to you a little bit about water, and then you'll understand how it's a very good symbol for baptism. First of all, we all need water for life. If it stopped raining tomorrow, if everything started to get no water at all, we'd soon be in a lot of trouble. First of all, the grass would stop growing. Then very soon afterwards, the water in our taps would be restricted. We wouldn't be allowed to use it all the time. And if it went on for a long time and there was no rain, we'd eventually find there was no water at all. And little by little, animals would die, crops in the fields would die, and in the end, because we haven't got water, we too would die. So sometimes when you're looking out on a wet day and complaining about the weather, you might think about what it would be like some countries where it stops raining altogether. The second thing we think about water is water washes us. Water washes us. So when we're dirty and unclean and when we need to make ourselves look all respectable again, be able to go back into school and do the things we do, we wash our faces, we wash our hands, we clean ourselves. And that's an important part of what water is, the ability to wash us. And the third thing to think about water is that water can be dangerous. Indeed, we need to be very careful when we're around water. And I'm sure we've often had lessons in school about the summer holidays and the use of water and going swimming and being careful about where we are. Because when we are actually in water, it is potentially dangerous. And in really bad storms, it can be horrific. So dangerous indeed that it can actually destroy everything around it. So these are three parts of water I want you to think about when we think about water as our symbol today. Now I want you to think about how it's a good symbol for baptism. First of all, water is a symbol of life. And at baptism, we are being given a new life, a Christian life, a life that has been given to us because Jesus died on the cross for our sins. The second part of the story of water is that it washes us. And indeed it does. It washes away our sins. So at baptism, we are having our sins washed away. Again, it is part of our thinking of Jesus dying on the cross. And by dying on the cross, he washed away our sins forever. And finally, we think about water being dangerous and destroying things. Well, we are glad to celebrate that at baptism, what is being destroyed is death. Of course, we know people who have died. We may even know grandparents or even younger people who have died. But as Christians, we also understand that that death is not the end. That through what Jesus has done for us by dying on the cross, we will be with him in heaven, and there we will live forever. So can you see how water is a really important symbol for baptism? How it tells us so much in just one little cup of water. How we have new life, how we are washed clean, and how death itself is destroyed because of what Jesus has done.